What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a nice Dead by Daylight. I know I sure am. As we know in DBD, killers come with a set of add-ons that they are allowed to equip for their games. These add-ons buff their power, they change their power, they can sometimes add new aspects to their power. Picking add-ons is a pretty big part of playing killer in DBD. It can affect how your game goes pretty substantially, so it's really important, your add-on selection. Unfortunately, some of these add-ons that come with killers are downright terrible, to the point where you probably never see them or never would want to run them. And in this video, I'm going to be covering at least 5 of these killer add-ons that are just absolutely terrible, and I'm going to be giving my suggested changes for them to maybe make them more desirable to run. Obviously, there are more than 5 bad killer add-ons out there, but if I went over every single killer add-on that I thought was bad, we'd be here all night. It'd be an extremely long video. But if you like the idea of the video, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, it helps support it. And if enough people like the concept of this, I'll definitely make a part 2. My criteria for judging an add-on, first of all, we're doing no meme add-ons, so any add-on that kind of, that debuffs your power while giving you blood points, not counting any of those add-ons, as those add-ons are specifically designed in mind with, debuffing your power, making it harder for you to play the game, but in exchange giving you more blood points. So we're not looking at any of those. We're looking for add-ons that were designed in mind to buff your power, make you stronger, but end up just not really doing anything that useful, and are really just overall not great. Starting off our list is going to be a killer that's fairly notorious for not having great add-ons, and that is the Nemesis. You probably see the same Nemesis add-ons every single game, and I mean, who could blame them? Quite a few of their add-ons are not that great. Now, they're not the worst in the world. There's definitely worse killers out there, but Nemesis is definitely on like the bottom half of his overall add-on selection not being great. One of these add-ons you probably never see. In fact, you wouldn't even know if the Nemesis had it, probably. Hell, you could be playing Nemesis and running the add-on, and you might not even know you equipped it properly. You might be wondering, did I actually put that add-on on? Am I using it? It's going to be his green add-on, the Liquor Tongue. The Liquor Tongue, what it does is it increases the hindered status effect duration after becoming contaminated by 0.2 seconds. Now, I know it's very hard to tell that a survivor becomes slightly hindered when you actually contaminate them, as they sprint off at like max speed. They sprint off like you just actually dealt damage to them. So it's a little hard to tell that you hinder them a little bit. And not only that, this add-on increases that already non-existent status effect by a whole 0.2 seconds, a whopping 0.2 seconds. This add-on is absolutely terrible. I could not notice when I was using it. I saw no difference in my chases. I didn't notice the add-on had any effect. I literally couldn't tell I was running it, basically. It felt like I was just playing Nemesis with one add-on. I think someone actually calculated it, that if you and the survivor run in a perfectly straight line and you hit them with your tentacle, it saves you not even like a second in chase, actually catching up to them. But obviously, as we know, people don't just run in straight lines, so that doesn't even come into play really, so it's even less than that probably. My suggested change for this add-on, at least, is maybe make it so that it reduces the cooldown of your whip when you actually contaminate a survivor, or if you deal damage to them with your power. Maybe make it have like a little bit of a save the best for last effect where your cooldown is slightly reduced. I wouldn't want to make it too much, as I feel like that could be a little oppressive, especially since I'm pretty sure in tier 3 your cooldown is like reduced slightly, at least it feels like that. But either way, I wouldn't want to make it too crazy. That could get a little oppressive. But a add-on that reduces the cooldown of your tentacle would be really cool. So that would be a nice change to this add-on, I think. In our number 2 spot, we have a Michael Myers add-on, one of his yellow add-ons, the Glass Fragment. Now, the Glass Fragment is just a really terrible add-on, as it's an add-on based around his tier 1 phase of play, his Evil Within 1, which, as we know as Michael, you don't want to spend much time in Evil Within 1. You're pretty much spending the first minute or 2 of the game trying to get out of Evil Within 1 as fast as possible. As you move slower, you don't have a lunge, you're really just not a killer yet until you get out of Evil Within 1, and this add-on has the audacity to make it so that when you stalk a survivor for at least 1 second while in Evil Within 1, they're revealed for a total of 3 seconds. Their aura is revealed to you for 3 seconds. For starters, you can't go back to Evil Within 1 once you leave Evil Within 1, not that you would want to. So once you leave Evil Within 1, this add-on is actually useless. It gets no value for the rest of the game. 2, why would you want to see a survivor's aura when you're in Evil Within 1? I guess it could help you out a little bit if, you know, you're in like an indoor map and you're having trouble finding them. But in general, you're not going to be trying to mind game survivors or like chase them or try to hit them. And even if you were going to be staying in Evil Within 1 for some reason, you have Scratched Mirror, which allows you to see the survivor's aura for, you know, as long as you're stalking up to 32 meters. It gives you constant aura reading, so this add-on is basically useless with Scratched Mirror, the only add-on you'd ever run, or the only reason you'd ever want to stay in Tier 1 as Michael. Not only that, this add-on is very, very similar in look to another add-on called the Reflective Fragment, which the Reflective Fragment is actually pretty useful. The Reflective Fragment makes it so that when you stalk a survivor for 1 second while you're in Evil Within 2, it reveals them for 2 seconds, which actually can be useful, as you're going to be chasing survivors in Evil Within 2. You're going to be trying to track them down. You actually might go for a hit or two when you're in Evil Within 2. You're actually a killer, so you can make usage out of that aura reading for chasing purposes and other reasons. There's even a better version of that add-on called the Mirror Shard, which allows you to reveal their aura for 5 seconds. But overall, the Glass Fragment, absolutely useless. Don't run it. I guess you could run Lethal Pursuer to increase the aura reading by 2 seconds to 5 seconds. I don't know why you'd do that, but you know, you could just do it. My suggestion is just combine the Reflective Fragment and Glass Fragment into one add-on. There's no reason for them to be 2 separate add-ons. Like I said, the Reflective Fragment is pretty good. Reflective Fragment and Mirror Shard, the one that gives you Tier 2 aura reading, it's pretty good, but it's not like, you probably don't see it that often because there are better Michael Myers add-ons out there, so I don't even think it'd be that OP if you combine the two together. Mix them up, put them together, you know, give the Mirror Shard also the Aura 1 tier, you know, Tier 1 aura reading effect, and it, you know, it would be good. You'd see it run every now and then, and it would at least give you some value. Funniest shit ever, when I actually ran this add-on, the one dude I stalked in Tier 1 had distortion, so I didn't even get value out of this add-on, just to show you how absolutely useless this add-on is. In our next spot, we have a killer that actually recently got an add-on rework, and rework in general. In my personal main, it's going to be the Legion. I think they did a great job with the add-on rework for Legion. A lot of their add-ons are a lot better now. However, they still have 1 or 2 stinkers that you don't really run that often. And one of them, kind of keeping with tradition in the fact that it also used to be pretty bad before the add-on rework, is going to be Frank's Mixtape. Frank's Mixtape, alongside giving you some new Terror Radius music, some really nice chase music. It's like this low, distorted guitar. I actually like it quite a lot. It's going to increase the action speed of damaging generators by 20% and breaking breakable walls by 30% while you're in your power. It's also going to pause your power gauge while you're performing these actions. To be honest, I don't know what to say about this add-on. I mean, I don't know why you'd really want to go out of your way to kick generators and break walls when you're in your power. You can totally do that stuff when you're in your power as Legion, but I don't know why you'd go out of your way to do that. I guess this add-on can incentivize you to do it, but you don't really have a reason to do it. If you're going to kick a generator, you know, if you're approaching survivors, they're on a generator and you're going to kick them, usually I kick the generator, then go into my power. I tried to make a build around it, and it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. You know, running Brutal Strength makes it even faster, like Eruption, so you can mark generators easily and catch up the survivors. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but it's just not something you're really doing all that often as Legion. And pretty much if you're doing it, you're running this add-on basically. And it really doesn't even give you, you know, a whole lot of value to begin with. There's definitely better add-ons to run out there, especially for a purple add-on. It's a pretty high rarity add-on. My suggestion is, well, actually my suggestion is someone else's suggestion. I have 2 suggestions. One of them is someone else's suggestion. It's a Legion content creator by the name of Tataru. He suggested that the add-on should make it so when you kick a breakable wall or generator, it refreshes your power gauge completely while you're in your power, which I think could be a pretty neat add-on. It would be kind of nice to see another add-on that in some ways extends your ability to be in Feral Frenzy. We only have like 2 other Legion add-ons like that, so that would be a pretty cool add-on. What I'd love to see happen is if you're running this add-on, you can just fucking hip check breakable walls, just run right through them. You know, maybe if you approach a breakable wall, you get like another button that you can press where you can just fucking run through it. I think that shit would be so funny. I don't know if it would be actually useful, but at the very least would be really funny and very, very cool to see. At least I think so. It would be absolutely hilarious to just see the Legion bust through a wall like they're fucking like they're fucking Mr. X from goddamn Resident Evil 2 or some shit. Number 2 on our list is going to be a Hillbilly add-on. Now, the Hillbilly, unfortunately, you know, 2 years ago, he got hit with one of the worst add-on reworks in DBD history. A lot of his add-ons are notoriously not the greatest, especially in comparison to what he used to have, which was some of the best add-ons in the game. And we're going to be talking about one of his purple add-ons, the Tuned Carburetor. Now, the Tuned Carburetor gets the gold star of this video. It gets a gold star for being the most fun add-on of, you know, the add-ons I'm listing here. This add-on is actually insanely fun to use, but that doesn't change the fact that it is a absolutely terrible add-on, and if you're running it, you're basically debuffing yourself. What the Tuned Carburetor does is it reduces the charge time of using your chainsaw, you know, the time it takes to actually rev your chainsaw and use it. It reduces that time by 25%. However, it comes at the cost of reducing your base movement speed from your usual 115% to a 110% killer. I don't think I need to be I don't think you need to be a genius to figure out that that is a huge downside for what is otherwise a fairly just okay upside. It makes you extremely chainsaw dependent as Hillbilly. You're basically going to be using your chainsaw to get everywhere. You're going to be using your chainsaw to get most of your downs, which if you've ever played Hillbilly, you already know it's pretty hard to get downs as Hillbilly using your power. You have to be extremely good at it. In certain loops, it's almost downright impossible. And really good survivors are going to make it real tough for you. So it's really nice to have that ability sometimes to fall back on the fact that you're a 115 killer. If these survivors are, you know, keen-eyed and they notice, hey, this Hillbilly is running slower than normal, they're not only going to know what add-on you're running, but they're going to make it extremely hard for you to actually get downs. They're going to play super safe. They're going to pre-drop pallets. They're going to make it insanely difficult for you forever get it down. But like I said, it's an extremely fun add-on if you combine it with one of his other add-ons that increases charge time, the Mother's Helpers, where if you get stunned by a pallet, you have a little time period where your chainsaw charges faster. It can kind of remind you, it can just a little bit remind you every now and then of good old-fashioned Insta-Saw Billy from back in the day. It's not as good as old school Insta-Saw Billy, but there are some moments where it, you know, you get a little nostalgia. If you ever played back then, if you played Insta-Saw Billy back in the day, it can make you a little nostalgic for it. And there's definitely some rare occasions where this add-on totally gets you a down that you otherwise shouldn't have gotten, that you wouldn't have gotten without this add-on. But in general, it makes your games way harder as Hillbilly. Honestly, my suggested change for this add-on, make him stay 115, but maybe instead make it so it reduces the actual speed of your chainsaw sprint. You know, you use your chainsaw a lot to get around the map. I think making it so it would reduce the actual speed at which you saw, or like that you run around the map, could be a fair trade-off for this add-on. However, maybe that could get a little bit ridiculous if you combined it with like your Doom or Death engravings. Maybe that would be kind of nuts, but let's be real, it wouldn't be as nuts as old school Hillbilly add-ons. Or maybe instead make it so it reduces how much you can turn your chainsaw, so it makes it a little bit harder for you to get downs, with the trade-off being that you can charge faster, you know, charge up the chainsaw faster. Kind of hard to balance this add-on, as admittedly Behavior has clearly seen that giving charge time to Hillbilly is something that's really, really dangerous and should only be done in small little bits. Topping off our list here is going to be the king of bad add-ons, just the absolute #1 worst add-ons overall in the game. It's going to be Pyramid Head. Very unfortunate, you know, the Titan of Silent Hill just does not have great add-ons, to be honest. He's got like 4 good add-ons maybe, and that's it. He's got a nice little selection of good add-ons, and the rest of it is absolutely garbage. But he, absolutely takes the cake for maybe one of the worst add-ons in the game and one of the worst iridescent add-ons in the game. It's going to be the Obsidian Goblet. The Obsidian Goblet is absolute garbage. It is budget Insidious, basically. What it does is while you're standing on a Rite of Judgment trail, you're going to be undetectable. There is nothing else you're using this add-on for other than just budget Insidious. You can lay down a trail, you know, out of sight from a hook, and you can stand on it, and congratulations, you're undetectable. You have Insidious. You can wait for someone to get the unhook and do a little bit of Insidious camping. That is the sole purpose of this add-on, for an iridescent add-on, mind you. My honest change for this add-on is super easy, super simple. Make it so instead of it being when you're standing on a Rite of Judgment trail, make it so that if you're moving with your power, you're undetectable, and also reduce the noise your sword makes so people can't hear it as well, because you can kind of sneak up on some generators, maybe get some sneaky little shots on people. Might be a fun add-on. That's my suggestion for it. Let me know what you think. Those are going to be the 5 worst killer add-ons we're going over in this video. Just some real stinkers in here. Don't run them in your games unless you know you really want to. Tuned Carburetor is fun. Do run that one in your games. Can be a fun time. Just be ready to have a lot of pain and suffering if you're gonna run that one. But what are your suggested changes to these add-ons? And do you have any add-ons that you think should make this list? Some of the worst add-ons in DBD. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.